Hey everyone, Demetri here. Welcome to part 2 of my 4-part series on the Mamba Mentality. If you haven't watched part 1 of this series, definitely check that out, and I'll put a link to that in the description. As a reminder, the Mamba Mentality is a mindset. It's the mindset that Kobe exemplified every day, and it's all about becoming the best version of yourself and doing whatever it takes to become your best self. Every decision you make, every action you take, every thought you have, and every belief you have are all with one thing in mind when you have the Mamba mentality, and that is becoming the best version of yourself. This is your guide. And constantly trying to become the best version of yourself is what ultimately leads to success for you. It ultimately leads to being great in whatever it is that you do. So over this 4-part series, I'm going to share 4 different characteristics of the Mamba mentality with you. And the first part I shared with you last video is to never settle. Never stop trying to get better. Try to get better every day. And the second piece of the Mamba mentality, which I'll be discussing in this video, is to be a lifelong learner. Never stop learning. To become the best version of yourself, you have to keep learning, and you have to keep expanding your knowledge. And this is really an extension of never settling. Never settle for the amount of knowledge that you have. Never be content with how much you know. There is always something for you to learn. It's impossible to know everything. And when you learn, you become a better version of yourself. Because growth is very much tied into how much you learn. So if you stop learning, you stop growing. Which is why this is a part of the Mamba mentality. So try to learn at least one thing a day. It's just like what I said in the last video, try to get a little bit better every day, and eventually you will reach greatness. Well, try to learn at least one thing every day, and eventually you will reach greatness as well. So never act like you know everything. That's only going to hold you back. That's only going to keep you right where you are. And don't be afraid to admit when you don't know something. And seek the answers to what you don't know so that you can learn and grow and be even better. Okay, so as a basketball player, how can you go about being a lifelong learner? Well, by doing, by watching, by reading, and by figuring things out. The first way that you can keep learning is by doing. The best way to learn something is to try it. Try a new move. Try a type of shot that you normally wouldn't try, or a new type of finish. Don't be afraid to try out new things, or else, well, you're never really going to learn. The second way to be a lifelong learner is by watching. Watch YouTube videos on different drills, different basketball concepts, maybe even videos on mindset. You really can learn anything these days if you just search for it. And also, when you're watching, don't just watch passively. Actively pay attention. Pay attention to the details. Pay attention to why things are working a certain way or why they aren't. This will really speed up the learning process for you. The third way to be a lifelong learner is by reading. Read books that successful players wrote. Read books that successful coaches wrote. And read books that successful people in other fields have written. And when you read enough of these books, you start to see the patterns. You start to see all the things that made these successful people successful. You start to notice everything they have in common. And then you start taking on those qualities yourself. And eventually, you will get the same results. And finally, another way to be a lifelong learner is by figuring things out. By asking questions. By asking why. Figuring things out. Figuring out why things happen a certain way, this will also help you learn at a rapid rate. Ask questions. Ask your coaches questions. Ask your teammates questions. Ask your parents or other authority figures in your life. Be like an investigator trying to figure out how to be great at what you do. And then ask why. Try to figure out why things work a certain way or why things happen a certain way. Learning the why leads to a deeper understanding. And by having this deeper understanding, you can apply something you learn in basketball to other areas of basketball. Or you can take something you learned in basketball and apply it to another part of your life. On the flip side, If you learn something in a book that has nothing to do with basketball, but you learn the why, you can take that concept and apply it to basketball as well. And all of this will speed up your development and help you learn at a faster rate. So these are some ways to be a lifelong learner. And I want to leave you with one of my favorite Kobe quotes that really sums all of this up quite simply. And this quote has really stuck with me ever since I heard it. Kobe said, "Continue to learn, continue to ask questions, continue to figure things out, continue to ask why things happen a certain way, continue to better yourself. Because when that happens, you have no choice but to achieve greatness. It comes as a byproduct of that." Greatness comes as a byproduct of being a lifelong learner. It comes as a byproduct of having the Mamba mentality. This is the second part of the Mamba mentality. Keep learning every day. Success leaves clues. Get out there and find those clues. Learn them and experience rapid growth as a basketball player because of it. Alright, that's it for this one. Stay tuned next week where I'll introduce you to the third part of the Mamba mentality. Comment below and let me know some of the ways that you continue to learn every day. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.